Hey guys, this is Troy with Mainstream Linux. Today we're going to go over some basic settings on Manjaro 20.1.2 Mikah. Thank you for watching Mainstream Linux. What we're going to go over today is just some basic settings on the KDE version of Manjaro 20.1.2. And it's just little things that you probably find out over time if you're using it. But if you're new to Manjaro, just want to go over it with you real quick and show you some of these things. First things I want to start off with is the file manager. In Dolphin File Manager, if you notice, when you first open it up, you've got home, desktop, downloads, documents, trash, and then over here in your home, you've got your applications for your app images, desktop, documents, downloads, megasync, music, pictures, public, templates, videos. Some people, like me, like to have some of these folders over here so I can access them quickly. So it's real easy to do. Like my megasync folder, just right-click on it, and if you right-click on it, you go down and it says Add to Places. Click Add to Places, and it puts it right over here under Places. Let's go ahead and add pictures to that, to Places, and then my videos, Add to Places. Now I've got them over here under my Places. That makes them a lot easier for me to access. Now, I do prefer to have them in a certain order, so what I'll do is I'll take pictures and move them up under my downloads and grab my video. Just click and hold, and then you can drag it up to wherever you want to. And then I want megasync under my videos, and I've got documents, and then my trash. But that's just something real quick right there you can do. You can also adjust this over a little bit. That's just something you can do to kind of line that up for you. This is really helpful, especially for those that are coming from Windows that has the recents bar. I don't like the recents in Windows 10, quite honestly, because it adds so much clutter in there. It's much more cleaner on Manjaro. In the Dolphin File Manager, I can have everything where I want it, and it's right there and easy to get. So let me close that out. You already know if you right click on the screen, you can go ahead and do your icon sizes. You can change them. It gives you a lot of power there. Configure desktop, just like anything else. You can go over here and you can change your wallpapers. So let's go ahead and go over here, click on System Settings. Now we're going to go through the system settings here real quick. Basically, I'm going to do each line. Hardware configuration. It'll show if you've got an open source driver. If not an open source driver, it'll show if it's installed or not. These, I have the video, I have the open source video driver, and it is installed. I don't have these other two because I don't need them. Second line is your kernel. At present, I'm running the Linux kernel, which is 5.8.16-2. They do have a real-time new kernel, which is the Linux 5.9_RT16-1. I will probably install that after I do this video, but this is one of the few distros where you can go in and update your kernel in real time. Now, what's nice about this, let's say you update your kernel, you restart your system, and it starts acting up a little bit. You can go right back over here, pop the kernel open, and go down here, and you can install a previous kernel you were using, and everything will go back to working fine. Now, I will say this, in my 6 to almost 7 months that I have been using Manjaro as my daily driver, I've updated my kernel every time an update comes out. I have not had an issue. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean you won't. You might, but if you do, you just come back over here into settings, click on kernel, go to a previous kernel you were using, install it, and you're good to go. Keyboard settings. This one's pretty simple, no matter wherever you live in this world. I'm in the United States, so I'm using the English keyboard and the default layout, but you can go in here and change it to wherever you want to. That's pretty self-explanatory. Same thing with language packs. Same thing with locale. Time and date. You can go over here. You can set your time and date automatically, which is what I'm doing. You can also go in here to hardware clock and your local time. You can change that if you want to. If you uncheck that, it gives you the ability to set this up any way you want. And then, of course, down here is your time zone. If you want to change your time zone, you come over here, pick where you're going to go. You can change your time zone. You can have daylight saving time set. Is it daylight savings time, and has transition? And that's going to be definitely important, especially in the next 24 hours because daylight savings time is popping up. So, user accounts. This is just where you go in. I am primary on this computer. I'm the administrator. Now, if you want to add different users in your household, this is where you'd want to add them. You would just come down here where the plus or minus, you can add. Once you get your users set up, you can set them up just as users, not as an administrator. And these users, if they're not set up as an administrator, if they go to try to install something and it asks for the password, it'll be your password, so they will not be able to install anything or break anything in the computer. Now we're on to appearance, global theme. This is where you can actually change the theme of what you're looking at here. I am presently using the Breeze Dark, but if I wanted to, I could slip over and just click on Breeze, hit apply, and it's going to change everything globally, which means that'll go with your applications and it'll go with everything that's part of Manjaro. Okay, now I'm going to go back to dark here real quick. Now, if you want to try out different global themes, all you got to do is go down here and get new global themes, and there is a plethora of them out there for you to choose from. You can just scroll down. Let me say I'm going to try this one. I'm going to go ahead and install that. It'll go to installing. Now the themes, when they will come with the icons. They will come with the different color folders. They'll come with all of that. You'll have to go in and pick those icons once you change the theme, but they're there. Okay, it's going to ask me for my password. Now it should install. And that's another thing, when the global themes are downloading, you will have to put your password in it. It needs permission to install anything on your system. Okay, it's done downloading. So, global theme, the Peace and Harmony theme are right here. What you'll want to do is just go click on it, click apply. Icons, and we'll go down here, Infinity Light icons, Infinity Dark. I'm going to go with the Infinity Dark and apply, and there they go. They just applied across the board. There's your folders. That's what your folders would look like. That's what your folders are going to look like. So see, it changes up the whole look, and it even changes over here under your places, under your search for. It changes the whole look of the system up. So you're going to have a plethora of different directions you can go with making it look the way you want it to look. Making it what you want. Customizing it to your wants. So I'm going to go back to Breeze Dark. I'm going to apply. I'm going to go ahead and go to icons and go to Breeze Dark 2 there and apply. So that's just a little something to show you about the global theme. Plasma style. Plasma is just basically the way everything looks. I'm presently running Breeze Dark. You can run many different ones up here. There's Breeze Light, and just like everything else, I've got a totally different plasma theme I can run with what I just downloaded in my global themes, or you can go get new styles, so you can change those up. Application style. Now this is the way they open up, like this box right here that I'm using, and it gives you different bars that you can use, like with File Manager. If you look down at the bottom of File Manager, I've got these bars right here. They're nice, slick, and clean looking. Now if you want to go with something that gives you a percentage or something with a thicker bar, you can go ahead and say, okay, I want Fusion. Let's apply that. Open my folder back up. Now you can see it's got a square. It's got 849, but let's go ahead and close it. Reopen it, and you get a totally different look down here. Totally different. Now, if I go back and put it the way it was, which was right there, hit apply, open my folder back up, it changes it back to 849 gigabytes free. Got a little bar there, and then this right here is your slide toggle for how big you want your folders. So that's just a little bit more information for you on that. Colors. You can go in and change the way your window colors are. I like with what I'm working with now. You can also get new color schemes. All you got to do is go down here, click, download them, you're good to go. Fonts, I went over this slightly in a previous video. I have changed all these, all of them to 13, and applied them. Now, if you want to, you can go fixed width. You can change them you can set them custom set for general, fixed width, small, toolbar, menu, window title. You can change these to different size fonts if you want to. it gives you that much options to change. It gives you that much more freedom. Icons, we just went over theirs a while ago. Cursors, you can actually change what your cursors look like. Spin wheels, your sets, and what I like about this is when you go up and you go over whatever you're looking at, it'll show you exactly what the animation is going to look like. So you'll have an idea as opposed to just seeing a picture and taking a guess off the picture. You can actually go up and hover. Okay, that's what that looks like. That's what that looks like. So that gives you a little bit more freedom there. Workspace behavior. This right here lets you change everything from the general behavior, desktop effects, screen edges. If you're using Manjaro on a touch screen, screen locking. If you want to change something on the screen lock, how long do you want to wait before it unlocks? Allow unlocking without a password. All of that. Appearances on your screen lock. What do you want the lock screen to look like? Virtual desktops. You can change these. You can add more. You can take away. You can add as many virtual desktops as you want. How you want them listed. Do you want them 2 rows, 3 rows? Activities. This right here, you can create new activities. Now with activities, it'll help you focus on a specific task. So if you've got specific activities you do on a daily basis, you can drop them in here, and it helps you keep track of them and keep your workflow going. Windows management, Windows behavior, task switcher, different scripts, window rules, shortcuts. How you can set shortcuts up for any of these. You can even add an application. You've got global shortcuts. You can set standard shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts, custom shortcuts. So you can set that up to wherever you want it to make your workflow quicker and easier. Startup and shutdown. Login screen. You can pick what login screen you want, and it gives you an example of what it'll look like over here. Auto start. These are what start when you start your computer. So when it's booting up and when it comes on, these are the programs that'll be running in the background already to make your life a little easier. All I have at present is the Manjaro Hello screen, my Mega Sync for my Mega client, and then MailSpring. These are the background services that you allow to run. Now, if there's any background services in here you don't want running, all you got to do is go over here and click it off, apply down here, and that will stop running in the background. Desktop session. You can set all this up. Do you want it to when you log out, do you want it to confirm? Do you want to offer shutdown options? You can shut this off. You can click these off and apply. And then when you go power off, it won't confirm it. It'll just power you off. And then on login, do you want to restore your previous session? Do you want to restore manually? Do you want to start with an empty session? So you've got a lot of different choices there. In another place, you can pick your splash screen. Now this is between your login screen and from when your desktop environment comes on. So this will be the screen that's in between those. And then of course you can set up how you want search to work on it. Personalization. Account details. We went through this a while ago where you can set up new users. Notifications. All your setup on how you want your notifications to work that'll pop up over here. Do you want them to hover? How long do you want them to hover? All that. That's pretty self-explanatory. Regional settings, format, spell check, date and time. Accessibility. Now, this is your system bell that plays when you either open something or a notification or you delete something, it'll let you know. You've also got modifier keys. You can use sticky keys or locking keys, keyboard filters. You can use slow keys. You can use bounce keys. Activation gestures. Use gestures for activating sticky keys and slow keys. You can adjust all of these. Mouse navigation, acceleration delay, repeat interval, acceleration time, maximum speed. It gives you full control to where you can customize Manjaro to work the way you like to work. It gives you that ability to change anything in the system and change it to your liking. Applications, default applications, got them listed over here. File associations, you can go down here and change things up. If you want specific files to fall under a different association, you can do that. Locations, this tells you the path of all your locations. You can change these as well. If you do videos, do you want them to go to videos or do you want them to go to a different folder? It just gives you that freedom. Your KDE wallet, online accounts, you can go in here and add your accounts, Gmail accounts, Microsoft accounts. User feedback, you can go in here. That's disabled at present. You can enable it, and then that way you can send feedback to the developers of KDE. That way they can make it better in the future. Settings, connection preferences, SL preferences, cache, cookies. You can go through here and clean all these out. Browser identification, window shares. This gives you privacy control over what you're doing and how you're using it. Do you want to use a proxy server? Do you want to set up a proxy URL? That will be all under there under the settings. Bluetooth, if you're using a laptop with Bluetooth. Input devices, whether this be keyboard, mouse, game control, touchpad, these are pretty self-explanatory. Whatever devices you might have out there, you can get them set up right there. Display and monitor. Display configuration, it'll show you your resolution. Do you want to global scale the thing? Do you want to make it bigger? You can go to 125% and apply. New global scale applied, and it'll do that. But I'm going to go back to normal and apply. Close out of that. Compositor. Now I do want to say this, if you're using Manjaro on a laptop, I did have some issues, whether it was watching video and doing my OBS recordings that I do to make my videos, tearing prevention, VSync. This was on automatic, and what I was having was some issues with not only OBS having render issues, but also my Spectacle screenshot tool would not take an appropriate screenshot. And what it was doing was taking the previous screen I was on, so it would be like the wallpaper or Firefox. So what I did in here is where it said tearing prevention VSync, instead of automatic, I set it to never. I applied, and I haven't had any issues since. Gamma, this is just a way to change your grayscale and select picture difference. And then night color, you can activate night color where it knocks some of them blues out that keep you awake and bother your eyes. You can cool it down or you can warm it up. But at this present time, I'm not using night color, so I'm going to shut that off. Come on down, audio. This is where you can adjust, if you're using your volume and you go up to 100% on your speakers and you still have problem hearing, you can come back here and jack it up a little bit more, up to 125%, so that way you can hear it. Just a different change. Internal microphone. Multimedia. Enable Music Brains lookup, enable FreeDB lookup. This is just some things you can go in here and set up to look at databases and collect information from them. Power management, energy saving. This is where if you're on AC power for a desktop, you can go in here and set this up when you want the screen to dim, when you want it to go into rest mode. On battery or on low battery for laptops, you can set these and customize them the way you want. Activity settings. Do you want to use special settings? Do you want to define a specific behavior? Never turn off the screen, never shut down the computer. That's all back here under power management activity settings, and then advanced settings. I want to discard those. Advanced setting, battery levels. You can set it to where it's either 10% is low level, critical level, or you can go 5% is low level, 2% is critical level. That way, whatever you're working on, you can go, okay, boom, I need to get ready and stop. Now, at critical level, you can set it up to where you set it at 5%, and then when it hits 5%, it's going to go into hibernate mode, and then it's not going to lose any of your information. It's just going to go into hibernation. Kde Connect, you can use that to connect to your cell phone. Printers, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you have a printer, you come there and set it up. Removable storage. Device action, what do you want to do with removable storage? Do you want to set it up to, browse files with file managers, or right first thing I have it do? And then I can go from there and set this up. So when I right click on that item in the file manager, I can open it with VLC. I can burn it to a optical disk, or I can just open it up and use it for what I'm going to use it for. And then also setting up for a digital camera or removable devices. System information. This gives you the system information that we're using right here. Kernel version, KDE Plasma version, and tells you all the information about your computer that you're using. and then System D tells you what's loaded, mounted, and it just kind of keeps track of everything that's going on in your computer. But that is a brief overview of the settings in Manjaro and how you can work around them, how you can get in and set up everything to your desired feel or your desired look. That's the beauty of Manjaro, is you can set it up to be perfect and be the exact way you want it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification icon so when my next video comes out, you can catch it. And I appreciate y'all watching Mainstream Linux.